as a Christian to love Israel. I am under an obligation as a Christian to love Israel, to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, which actually means the peace of Israel. And I cannot, as a Christian, do anything other than love and pray for Israel, because I know hatred for Israel by me and my nation can only attract unprecedented curse upon our nation. Now, this begs us to question a couple of things. If I am in a professional position and I have a view which is a religious view, because of the rights that are embedded and enshrined in our Constitution, and the rights in various ways, but obviously the rights that protect me as an individual, where do we draw the line? He has been taken to the Judicial Services Commission, and then he was found guilty. And this is what the verdict says. It says he was found guilty, number one, by getting involved in a political controversy. Number two, by not respecting the separation of powers. Number three, by lending the prestige of judicial office to advance private interest. Number four, by failing to minimize the risk of conflict with his judicial obligation. And number five, by involving himself in an extrajudicial activity activities that are incompatible with the confidence in and the impartiality of the judges. Now, my guest here is Dr. Joe Mabuela. We are going to try and break this one down. Dr. Joe, good evening. How are you? Yeah, is your mic okay? The sound?
It's supposed to be okay.
There you go.
There we go. It's supposed to be okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be here.
It's good to be here.
Yes.
For the second time running?
Yes, sir. It seems like our people are enjoying this conversation.
I'm telling you, and that is exactly what we are doing, and we will continue to do, to give them what they
demand.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, the CJ.
Yes.
A principled man, as many would attest to.
Yes.
A Christian who never hide his own beliefs, and after all, the belief that is protected by the Constitution. What is the situation here? Is it a situation of, if you are of a particular profession, so you lose your rights one way or another?
Oh, wow. Yeah. You see, man of God, from a distance,
yeah,
and at a shallow level, it looks like that.
Yeah.
It seems like you lose your rights,
yeah,
as an individual, and you cannot freely express yourself.
Yeah.
But you see, the catch is every entity has its own code of conduct.
Yeah.
And the code of conduct is something that kind of binds you. You sign to that code of conduct.
Yeah.
To say, much as I am a believer in, I'm a pro-lifer.
Yeah.
I'm a pro-life. But I have joined a profession that propagates for abortion on demand.
Yeah.
And I have signed a code of conduct. So which means operating within that sphere, and as long as I am still wearing that cap,
yeah,
I cannot say anything or do anything contrary to what I have signed to agree.
Yeah.
So in this case, we do not know the JCC's code of conduct. You and I do not know that.
Exactly.
You see. But the JCC, obviously, which is the Judicial Conduct Committee, a committee that oversees the conduct of people in the judiciary. so that they become as impartial as possible and they don't favor anyone, but they are as neutral as possible so that whoever can actually go to them. You know, even if he belongs to a particular political party, but he or she cannot, for the benefit of the public, utter statements that will show that he is pro this particular party.
Yeah.
So, with the Chief Justice, what happened is that he made those utterances, right? Quoting from the Bible.
Yeah.
And then the JCC got very offended. And they took up the matter and they said he has violated the code of conduct.
Yeah.
Right? They did not say he broke the law,
Yeah.
because there is no law that he broke. But you see, there's a code of conduct. So it's like us having a church and saying, in our church, you cannot do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Right? But that the constitution of the country does not prevent you.
It does not prevent you from
doing
actually
X, Y, Z.
behaving the way you
Yes.
can behave. Yeah.
Yes. But then because we have an agreement here that if you happen to violate this part,
Yeah.
right, this will be the consequences. You see? So, hence I'm saying the difficulty here is that we don't know that code of conduct. We don't know exactly what it is that the judge has violated. But seemingly, he has actually uttered statements that seems to show that he is actually in support of Israel
Yeah.
and against the Palestinian people. But you see, now when I read the statement that the judge has said,
Yeah.
the statement has got nothing to do with hatred for Palestine.
True.
It's a simple statement that says he is under obligation to love.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have said, I'm under obligation to love Palestine. People would have been happy.
That would have made people happy.
Yes.
So,
if he had said, I'm under obligation to love Palestine.
but you see, this is now it brings another discussion here, point of discussion.
Yes.
If that is the case, we all know that whatever that is happening with this whole debacle,
Yes.
it's simply because he's construed, so to say, as standing on the other side. So it's an issue of political correctness here.
Yes, yes. Because, yeah, exactly. Because remember that it is actually said it's not the first time that
Yeah.
he uttered pro-Israel utterances.
Yeah.
You see. So it's clear that they have been targeting him and waiting for this opportunity so that he slips up or he says something and then they're able to grab on that.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that if it goes to the Constitutional Court, the JCC will not win this case on the basis of the constitution of the country.
Yeah.
They may win it on the basis of a violation of a code of conduct if there is anything in the code of conduct that says you
prevents
are
it.
not supposed to declare your love for Israel in public. You are not supposed to quote a scripture or a verse in the Bible that says if you do not love Israel, this is what will happen.
Yeah.
If there is anything like that in the code of conduct that says whoever is in the judiciary is not supposed to quote from the Bible,
Yeah.
and he has quoted from the Bible, then based on their code of conduct, obviously they will find him guilty.
Yeah. So in that way, it means that let's now, because the CJ is just one point
Yes.
that we can talk about. But his case is not isolated from any other case of
Yes.
any South African who
Right.
is of a Christian belief, who may be practicing in any other profession.
Yes.
It could just be a Christian believer who is a lawyer.
Yeah.
It could be a Christian believer who is a doctor who believes I lay hands
Right.
on a patient. And at that particular time, he lays hands on a patient and
Yes.
it comes up in that way. But
Exactly.
is it, how do we separate the individual, the professional, and the belief? Now, in this case, just putting Christianity aside, because we have so many beliefs in South Africa.
Yeah.
How do we separate that?
Yeah. Yeah. You see, man of God, the issue of faith is a very complex issue. The issue of belief is something that can never even be regulated.
Yeah.
Because faith is not something that is written or you can write down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And then say, I subscribe to this tomorrow, today I don't, and so on. Because it's a way of life. It's who you are. And you can never, and it's spiritual. You can never regulate spirituality.
Yeah.
You see. Now, when it comes to me as an individual, saying, I'm a child of God, I belong to this particular religion, and this is what we believe in.
Yeah.
Right? And then I find myself in a profession that says something to the contrary.
Yeah.
I have to make a decision to say, what does my conscience tell me?
Yeah.
Do I continue here, or do I leave this part and focus on something else that is aligned to my beliefs?
Yeah.
Now it takes you now back to what? To chapter 2 of the Constitution.
Yeah.
Human rights, basic human rights. You know?
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say, because when you
Yes,
touch about
yes,
the issues of
yes,
conscience,
yes.
Section 15 says everyone has the right to freedom of conscience.
Yes, exactly.
And you
Freedom
have
of expression and so on.
exactly.
Yeah. That is why if it goes to a court, I said they don't have a winnable case.
Yeah.
Because remember, at the end of the day, the constitution of the country is the supreme law. And what do we mean by supreme law? By supreme, it means it supersedes any other.
Yeah.
Even if your constitution says 1, 2, 3, but if the constitution of the country says 1, 2, 3, and 4,
Yeah.
the constitution of the country supersedes yours. At the end of the day, we'll take the constitution of the country and say, this is what the supreme law of the country says. It protects the basic human rights of every individual. I mean, we've had a case, I will not mention the name of the church,
Yeah.
where a pastor violated the constitution of the church, according to them. They said he did what was not supposed to have been done. This pastor had actually sold some property of the church.
Yeah.
They said you are not supposed to do that without
Getting the
permission from head office
Yeah.
somewhere in Petersburg. Popo. You know, you're supposed to get permission.
Yeah.
And this guy says, but no. We as a church, local church here, have got our own rights.
Yeah.
Because we are an autonomous body. They said, no, according to the constitution, this is what must happen. It went to court. They could not win that case. Because the constitution of the country protected him.
Yeah.
You know? So there are certain things when you use case law, you realize that some of these people are just wasting their time. If we go back to the issue of the JCC and you go back to who actually supports this,
I wanted us to
See?
hold on to that thought,
right?
because that
Yeah.
thought is going to come when we come back
Beautiful.
from the break.
Beautiful. Yeah.
But before we go there, you wanted to say something?
yeah, I wanted to say that Rene, as individuals, men of God,
Yeah.
we are protected by the constitution of the country because we are citizens of the country.
Yeah.
The constitution protects us. And if I do anything that is in line with the constitution of the country, but out of line with the constitution of my organization,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it is the constitution of the country
That will take precedence.
that take precedence.
So in this kind of situation, here is the Chief Justice. There has been issues of in fact, before we even get to the proposal that has been flying all throughout, the petitions that have come through.
Yeah.
But it looks like, according to the media reports now, it looks like he's going to appeal that kind of
Yeah.
judgment.
Yes.
But before we get there, I want us to just look at the way the sanction was made. You're found guilty, and you are instructed to apologize, but then your apology is structured Someone structures your apology and say,
They write
this
it
is
down for you.
they write it down
Yeah,
for
you
you.
must
This is
actually read
how
it
you
out.
must say it.
Yeah. Then you can see that there are some sinister moves there. There are some maliciousness that's got to do with the whole thing.
Yeah.
How do you say to me, apologize, and then you say, don't even bother. I will write down the apology for you. All you have to do is to read it.
You must just go with the script and
Yeah, as if I'm a child, as if I'm a baby that doesn't know how to think for myself.
yeah.
You know, so you can see that the whole thing is just to spite him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, these guys are already claiming victory.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. The JCC has ruled in our favor, but at the end of the day, who is the JCC?
Yeah. Apostle Joe,
You see?
let us hold that thought. When we
Yeah.
come back, we will delve
Right,
into the nature and the organizations that
Okay.
actually got into that. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are continuing with this conversation immediately after this short break. You don't have to go anywhere.
He's not afraid. He speaks his mind. He likes the challenge. He's your first aid guy. He's called to resuscitate your thoughts, your dreams, your passions. Mano speaks motivation. He has a passion to influence. He is a passionate leader. He teaches inspiration, enthusiasm, awareness, courage, acceptance, faith, decision making, and action. He is the principal of radio. He's an author. He's a leadership coach. He's a certified school leadership coach. He's an entrepreneur. He is a soft skills trainer. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up and put your hands together for the principal. Mano Ramadua. Mano Ramadua.
To Resuscitation Leadership Conversations. My name is Mano Ramadwa, and just before we went for the break, Apostle Joe was going deeper into this conversation, and we are definitely tapping into that area as we speak. Pastor Joe, let's get back to this. We
Yeah,
we
to
were
the
we were
interesting
just
thing.
about to stare somewhere, and
Yeah.
now we were skeptical about the nature of the
Apology,
sanction and
yeah,
how the apology
yeah.
was actually being pressed onto a character of the Chief Justice who understands how to write this whole thing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
to tie it up
can
to a
speak
point
English.
where in proper English.
Doesn't need someone to write English for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, for me, that is some people coming with, I wouldn't call it white supremacy tendencies.
Yeah.
But they have adopted the white supremacy tendencies that says you as a black person cannot think for yourself.
Yeah.
We will think for you. So they are saying, much as they are saying, okay, this is the victory that you've had, but to go to another human being, another man of that stature,
Yeah.
and say, you cannot think, so we will think for you. You cannot read or write English.
Yeah.
You are illiterate. We will do it for you so that you can read it. I mean, for me, that smacks of racism, of a man being spited and so on, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the Chief Justice did very well by refusing that kind of a setup to say, I will not take that and I will not apologize. And I remember, as I said, they said it was not the first time.
Yeah.
The last time he even mentioned that even if all 50 million people
Yeah.
can
Could march. Yeah.
against me, I will still not apologize for my convictions.
And it raises a lot of questions as well. It raises a lot the questions of how these particular rights groups are composed.
Yeah.
The composition of these rights groups, because for you to understand exactly that nature, you also need to delve into who are these people behind
Who are these
the-
people? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk to us
Yeah.
about that.
No,
What influence does that actually?
Sure. You see, man of God, when you get into that territory of politics,
Yeah.
you are getting into a territory that is really, really complicated, that is very complex at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing is about land.
Yeah.
It's about land in the Middle East.
Yeah.
You will recall that an organization like the PLO, when it was formed,
Yeah.
its main issue was that Israel has the state of Israel has
Dispossessed
of
yeah.
their land, and the Israelites have occupied their land.
Yeah.
And so the whole issue is about land, fighting for land, where Palestine is saying we want to be recognized as a state.
Yeah.
And Israel says we are also a state, and this is our land.
Yeah.
So the whole issue is it's about land. And then there was the whole issue of, wars, these unending wars between Palestine and Israel.
We have
Israel
seen that even in the 80s, there has been all those bombings and stuff.
Exactly. With
yeah.
Israel, you're talking about the Jewish people. With Palestine, you're talking about the Arabs mainly, the Arab people.
Yeah.
And so there's that war. Now, how do we feature in Rene there? Remember that during our struggles,
yeah,
when we were oppressed by the white people here in South Africa, the Palestinians,
yeah,
were the people that stood with us.
yeah,
they were the people that fought with us and for us. And even when Tutu and the others said South Africa must be boycotted and so on, Israel wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Palestine put pressure. The Palestinians put pressure to say we have to boycott South Africa and so on and so on.
I remember Nelson Mandela, when after his release, when he was visiting the United States, he was asked about that, whether he will embrace the likes of Palestine, Yasser Arafat and Muammar Gaddafi and so forth. And he became very vocal about that.
Made it very clear.
Yeah.
That these are the people that stood with us.
Yeah.
But to the West cannot choose for us who to be friend. If we have to choose friends, the friends will be those who stood with us when we were in need, when we needed them.
Yeah.
These are the people that we remember now as our friends.
Exactly.
And we will stand with these people and we will embrace these particular people. You see. Now, then the dilemma comes, man of God, where it says, now I am a Christian.
Yeah.
Now, as a Christian, what do I say about this thing?
Yeah.
And this is where I've said, this thing is so complex that you as a Christian, you need to understand your belief, where you stand.
Yeah.
As a Christian. Because there's what you call Judaism, there is also what you call Christianity. Now, as a Christian, I am not a Judaist. I don't subscribe to Judaism.
Yeah.
I subscribe to Christianity. The most important and basic and fundamental difference between Judaism, Yamajuta, and Christianity is Christ.
Yeah.
He makes the difference. Judaism rejects Christ.
Yeah.
It doesn't embrace Christ. Christianity is Christianity because of Christ.
Because of Christ.
So I listen to what Christ says because I am his disciple.
Yeah.
I am not a disciple of Abraham. I'm not a disciple of Moses.
Yeah.
I'm not a disciple of any of the leaders mentioned in the Torah or in the Talmud. No, or in the Septuagint. I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ. The Jesus Christ who is rejected by the Jewish people. Not all of them. There are Christians within the Jewish community.
Yeah.
But I'd rather stick to Judaism.
Those who are who subscribe to Judaism are the ones that are that have this rejection of Christ.
And they are saying Christ is not the Messiah.
Yeah.
1, 2, Christ is not divine. He's not God. He was just Jesus, a human being there. He's not God, So that in itself, that propagation by Judaism tramples upon my Christian belief.
Yeah. But at the same time.
So hence I'm saying that it becomes very complicated for you as a Christian, because you as a Christian cannot on one hand stand and say I support Judaism.
Yeah.
When Judaism says,
you
are
must
lost.
reject your Messiah.
yeah, they say you are lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are lost. There's nothing like Christ. And then they say you are lost, and then you still stand. I support you. I am with you. And they say you are lost.
So that brings in an element of hypocrisy in a way, because now as a Christian, if I am now going to be holding placards and showing support for Palestine, for example,
Right.
and which is not it does not mean that we hate Palestine as Christians, but the support for Israel takes more prominence for me as a Christian. And it does not mean that I cannot actually be praying for the Palestinians as
not for Israel only.
Yeah.
Remember that even the Palestinians, because by nature they are Muslims, they say you are lost. Both parties are saying Christians are lost. They are saying there's only one Savior, and that is Muhammad.
Yeah.
And peace unto him, Muhammad. Not Christ. Jesus is just another one of the prophets. But the Savior is Muhammad. These ones are saying the Savior is Abraham, Moses, because they hold on to the covenants.
Yeah.
And you come as a Christian, and you stand in between them, and both of them are saying you are lost. And you say, I know, fine, I'm lost, but I support. What's wrong with you?
But now you're talking you're taking us to the interest that I was talking about from the beginning.
Yes.
To say, when you look at the composition of these organizations,
Right.
you realize that there's a lot of people of different faiths, and including Islam, including the Jewish people who are
You're so right.
and
The underlying,
it looks like there's a
the battle
bigger
of the faiths.
yeah.
It's a battle between Isaac and Ishmael.
Yeah.
That's the whole story. This is about Isaac, the Jewish people, and Ishmael.
Yeah. But it's
the
manifesting through
land
and all that, and in our case now, it's
yeah.
manifesting through utterances, simple utterances.
Yes, because if you look at the people that are supporting Palestine. For instance, Africa for Palestine is a pro-Muslim organization that is saying, we support Palestine all out.
Yeah.
Palestine must get its land back. Palestine must be recognized as a state. Fine, we have no problem with that.
Yeah.
And because they affect us,
yeah,
we have an interest in them, because whatever happens there is gonna also
affect us in the long run.
But you see, what you and I do not know is that much as they are fighting bitterly, men of God, they have diplomatic ties and arrangements with these two nations, Israel and Palestine. You will be shocked to learn that there are projects, major economic projects run by Israel, that are supervised and implemented by engineers from Palestine.
From Palestine.
Yes.
So the brothers are the brothers
Somewhere
have divided
they meet,
Yeah.
and then because of land they fight. And you and I do not know these things. We just come in and jamukele and just it's changanbera jamukele and then you have a problem.
And when you're in the middle of it, and these guys are now communicating, then you have a bigger problem.
Then you have a bigger problem. Now the question is, which voice are you listening when they come to us for support? When they come to South Africa and say, ANC, support us, are you listening to Israel or Palestine? Now, because ANC was supported by Palestine, it is bound to support Palestine.
Yeah.
Now, because you and I, besides being Christians politically,
we are also subscribed to some of these organizations.
Yes. Therefore, we are forced by the signatures that you put when joining the Constitution.
The membership.
The membership. To say now, because of the membership, much as you as a Christian are supposed to preach love and peace to everybody and so on, but because we say, you must push that line. If you say something different, we call you to order.
Yeah.
Not because you are a Christian, but because you are a member.
Yeah.
You see. Now, the Chief Justice is not being called to order because he's a Christian. But in a subtle way, we know.
We know where it's going because
Yes,
remember
yes,
with him,
yes.
just a couple of, was it before or after? Then he prayed.
Yes,
and the prayer became
that powerful prayer.
that powerful prayer which
Against triple C. And that prayer was simple. If there's any vaccine
yeah,
that is meant to alter our DNA
yeah,
and infuse triple six in us,
let it
Let
burn.
it burn. Ne? He
Yeah.
didn't say let the vaccine burn. He didn't say I don't believe in the vaccine. He said if there's any vaccine that is like that, and people took exception.
So
You see,
here, Mruti, we
Yes.
need to also be very careful as we are
Yes.
educating,
right?
to say some of these conversations that we are having, we are sparking the debate to a point where people need to understand that there are bigger issues
Yes.
other than what we are seeing here, because there could be, and even then, like I've indicated in the beginning, tomorrow it could be Joe.
Yes.
They come to Joe and say, no, Joe, you said this and that, and it's unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So they would find a way of muzzling you down through the constitution or
But
rather
you
through
see,
the membership
the
as
good thing is that the Constitution protects me. when I sit here.
the constitution protects.
I haven't signed any membership of any organization that is either pro-Palestine or pro-Israel.
Yeah.
I haven't. And as Joe Mabuela sitting here, the Constitution gives me freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of association.
Yeah.
That is why I can speak freely, because I'm not violating any JCC, because I'm not a member of the JCC. I'm not a member of Palestine for Africa. I'm not a member of the BDS or whatever. I'm not a member of all of those organizations. I've never called for the boycott or the sanctions or the whatever of any other nation and so on.
You are
understand?
obligated.
As a Christian,
Yeah.
not only am I obligated to love my enemy, but I'm also obligated to say, if he steps me this side, I must give him this side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's hold it right there.
Yes.
When we come back from the break, we will continue.
Right.
This is how this conversation is going. And of course, when we come back, we are going to deal with another part of this conversation. Please stay tuned and don't even shift that dial. When we come back, we are continuing.
I've had this problem.
Big problem.
I really need
professional services. And I kept searching.
and searching.
There are so many choices.
It's really hard to find one that has all the things on my list.
But I finally did it.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
If you are looking for one as well,
Look no further.
Here's a really good one.
Just use mine.
Use mine.
I'm very satisfied.
Definitely recommend.
Problem gone.
thank you.
Welcome to Resuscitation Leadership Conversations. My name is Mano Ramadwa. We are live from Greater Glory International Ministries, and we do this every single Monday from 6 to 7. And tonight we started at 7 because of logistical and technical issues. So, but we will always bring you these conversations. And as I'm sitting here, we are discussing the issue of the rights. We are discussing the issue that pertains to you at home, and my guest, Dr. Joe Mabuela, is helping us, and specifically when we are looking at the issue of the Chief Justice, Muhweng. Let's go on, Apostle Joe. Now we have people having these ideas about what Joe must say and how he must say it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is also part of these conversations which simply says to us, if this is how people are finding us or finding individuals guilty of what they have said, which is protected by the Constitution, and yet membership perhaps throws them out, How do we deal with these issues as individuals and particularly belonging into organizations, or rather not organizing, but religious beliefs like us
Yeah.
as Christians?
Yeah.
What would be the
Yeah, well-
departure point?
Well, the question would be, number one, are you willing to die for your convictions?
Yeah.
You know, are you willing to stand by your convictions, or you just give up on your convictions like that? Number one. And then number two, also to say, the organization that you have supposedly joined,
Yeah.
is it a statutory organization? Is it a constitutional organization in terms of probably Section 9 or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, so if it is not, then the truth of the matter is this could be just a peer kind of an organization.
Yeah.
Remember that there are peer reviews organizations. These organizations are the kind of organizations that says, because I'll give you an example, as a marriage counselor,
Yeah.
I will belong to a body of marriage counselors.
Yeah.
Just for me to be peer reviewed.
Yeah.
But these are my peers. Where I go wrong, they will correct me. And I will sign to a particular, I'll ascribe
Code
to
of
a code of
ethics.
yeah. So if I violate that, they have the right to terminate my membership and say, you have violated this. But they cannot take away my being a marriage officer.
Yeah.
They can only take me out of the organization. Now, we also need to understand and find out to say, the JCC, hence I ask, who's the JCC? The JCC, is it an organization that is constitutional and hold the power to say, if you violate its policy,
Yeah.
then you even lose
Your license, for
license
example.
to operate?
Yeah.
Or is it just a peer review organization? You know? So those are issues that needs to be looked at. It is not the court of law that has
Yeah.
found the Chief Justice guilty.
Yeah.
There's no court in the country that has found him guilty. There is no court that has said you are guilty of violating this particular law in the Constitution, because he has not violated any law of the Constitution. It's a feeling that the peer review group says you have violated our Constitution as one of us.
Yeah. You should not be behaving in
not be
this
behaving.
manner.
And
So
the-
you
yeah,
you
and-
need to wait until
Yeah.
how long is this term of office? 7 years?
Yeah, I think he's anyway he's stepping off. I think he's finishing this year,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. But the whole issue is to say, you see, once he admits that he is wrong
Yeah.
and he reads out the apology, the next move then is to say, because you are wrong and you admitted, you must resign.
You must step down.
Yes,
Yeah.
you must resign from the office.
And
That's where it's going to.
And here is another thing. You have spoken about a very interesting position that says, if you are convinced of your convictions, what do you do? Do you prefer to stand up and push the convictions that you have? Because what I'm seeing here is a situation where this particular incident could actually set a new precedence for the next Chief Justice.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if the next Chief Justice is of a different faith, because of what has happened now, and which is being done for the current Chief Justice, it might simply mean that next time they will be saying, hey, just look at what we did to Mkhweng.
Yeah, so be careful. You see, the man of God, this whole thing is problematic, because if you have personal convictions like convictions of faith, at some point Nelson Mandela was asked, are you a Christian?
Yeah,
And then he said, no, it's between me and God.
yeah,
Yeah, he didn't want to God public to say, because he felt, if I said I'm a Christian, I'm going to
I alienate myself along.
yeah, I'm going to offend others. But the Chief Justice Mkhweng has always said, even before he ascended the throne of being the Chief Justice,
Yeah.
he has always made his stand public. That
Yeah.
he's a Christian. He prays in Parliament. He prays wherever. Yes, he prays in court. He has made it very clear that he is. Even when they appointed him, they knew what they were dealing with. So they cannot come today and say, but you can't say that. But hey, you knew what you were appointing when you appointed him.
From the beginning.
From the beginning. So you cannot just come and say, I'm a surprise package. It's not a surprise package. You know? It's like people liking you for what you're doing. Ramana, we appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
then you are changing lives. And then you say, I'm doing this because of the grace of God and because it's Christ in me.
Yeah.
They said, listen, we want you to be part of us. Then
And
when you get in there, don't just talk about Christ.
Yeah.
Make him your private thing.
Yeah.
So, but in the first place, I am here because he brought me here. How then can I hide him when he brought me here?
Now, you see, this is where I have a problem, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I am a teacher by profession,
right.
and I have been a Christian for the longest time that I
Right.
have been a teacher. And every time, and I've been very blessed to teach in schools where there were interfaith learners within the classroom.
Right.
And I have always prayed for children.
Yeah.
And how has my Christian beliefs
Yeah.
compromised the learning inside of the classroom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I have not actually seen any, and in fact, I have had a number of times where children who are from the African belief
Yes.
would come to me and say, can you please pray for me? And children from the Muslim, because I have taught in many environments like that. Muslim children will come to me and say, please pray with me. I have this challenge, and I'll pray with them.
Yes.
And as a result of that, the children were respectful even when we were delivering lessons in class. We never had a situation like that. And when I was marking the children's scripts, I never looked at who is Christian, who is not. But is it a situation where, because I keep on hearing people saying, no, for the CJ to be like that, then his adjudication of cases in the Concord would actually have that kind of bias.
I
Is
don't
that a
think so.
professional way of doing things that...
I don't think so. The CJ is a very mature person. He's a very professional person. He's a person who knows and understands policy.
Yeah,
And he knows that once he sits there to make judgment,
yeah,
it's got to be based on nothing else but policy and the Constitution.
yeah.
And not even on his personal beliefs.
Mm.
You know, the Chief Justice, if he have to preside over a case probably of abortion,
Yeah,
you know, where it involves that. And as a Christian, he has a particular view.
yeah,
At that point, he has to put aside all other beliefs and
Yeah.
apply the Constitution.
because that is the law that he
That-
must actually
that is the law.
apply.
And it's got nothing to do with his convictions. It is the law that has to that applies. What happens thereafter is up to individuals. But he has to read out the law. So this is what the law says.
When these issues crop up,
Yeah.
I'm just imagining an SANDF man who is saved, but who is going on a mission in Burundi,
Yeah, yeah.
and who has to carry a gun every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing as Israel and Palestine.
Yeah.
We as a Christians, I would say, like your Honorable, the Reverend Mishwe,
Yeah,
pro-Israel. I would say that because he has said that. He
Yeah.
has never had a problem. He's pro-Israel. You know? The same Israel that is bombing and killing people.
yeah,
And yet, Christianity says something else about the sacredness of life.
yeah,
Even the 10 Commandments of the same Israel that says, thou shalt not murder.
yeah,
They go out and they kill babies and everything, you know? And then you are still pro them.
yeah,
It's the same thing. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. It's up to him, his convictions. But I'm just giving an example based on that. Say, as a South African soldier going to Burundi,
Yeah.
fight there, kill, and then he comes back to church. He prays. He
Yeah.
thanks. I'm a child of God.
But-
Then you say,
but-
where do you draw the line between conviction, faith, and duty?
yeah,
Same people in the police force.
yeah,
They go out there, they're instructed, they shoot. Rubber bullets and whatever, they're shooting students,
yeah.
maiming students. They killed a guy the other time.
Because they are applying their
yeah, the law
professional.
yes, yes. When they live there, on Sunday, men of God, they
Yeah.
are our spiritual sons and
And-
daughters.
And they come and they say, my pastor, I had
Yes.
a very terrible week.
Yeah.
In the line of duty,
Yes.
this is what happened. And
Exactly.
please pray for me. And that
I
is
mean, worst case scenario, one of our friends, I'll not mention his name, you know him. us in the fraternal. He's a powerful man of God.
Yeah.
That man preaches a storm. That man, he preaches, man of God, people stand up and they bring money to the stage offering that. You know, it's like our TD Jakes Kokas.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. On Monday, he's a policeman. He carries R5 rifle.
Yeah.
On Sunday, he carries a Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day I asked him, hey, man of God, can't you do ça? Gun on Monday,
Yeah.
Bible on Sunday.
Bible.
You see, we laugh about these things.
Yeah.
But these are the dilemmas and the paradoxes of life
Yeah.
that some of these people, they face, they come across. You see. So at some point, one or the other will come to that crossroad
Yeah.
where you've got to seriously make a choice based on conviction to say, going forward, where am I going to?
Where am I going? And I think that is the most interesting
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
this conversation, to say, as a believer, as a person who has been convicted in this particular way, in my line of duty, how do I carry myself? How do I conduct myself?
Yes.
And so that at the same time, I'll still dignify the profession that I have,
Yes.
and still dignify the calling that I'm saying.
Hence we said, Naluena, we are Christians.
Yeah,
Christ is our standard.
he's our standard.
Not Moses, not Abraham, not David, not Solomon and his temple in his splendor, not Muhammad, not Gandhi, not any other, but Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, is our standard. If we have to ask a question, how do I behave in this manner? I go to Christ. I go to the Bible, the New Testament, the Gospels. What would Christ say or do under this
Current circumstances.
It's very, very important. Yes, I understand Abraham, he said, God said to him, those who curse you, whatever. Fine, I understand that. I can use that as a reference. I can go there to see that you are not supposed to curse God's children because you'll also be cursed. But then Christ comes.
Yeah.
And then he says, before Abraham was, I was.
Yeah.
And then he says, number 2, he has removed the curse upon your life. What God has blessed, no one can curse.
Yeah.
If God blesses me through Christ,
Yeah.
and then I happen to say I am not for Israel and for what they are doing and the killings that they are conducting at the Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
I'm not for them. Will God then say, I am cursing you now? After he has blessed me through Christ. I am in Christ.
You're in Christ. And that is the standard that you have been given.
Yes.
And that is how you're going to
How
live
can
through that.
God bring back a curse on Christ, who took the curse on the tree, on the cross, and removed it. And then God brings it back and puts it on him. I am in him.
Pastor Joe, I want us to come back
Yes,
and discuss a crucial aspect of
Right.
this conversation as we will be closing. Thank you very much for joining us. And we are taking a short break. And when we come back, we continue this as we will be closing tonight's show.
I've had this problem.
Big problem.
I really need it.
And I kept searching.
And searching.
There are so many choices.
But I finally did it.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
If you were looking for one as well,
Look no further.
Here's a really good one.
Just use mine.
Use mine.
I'm very satisfied.
Definitely recommend.
Problem gone.
thank you.
Welcome back to Resuscitation Leadership Conversations. My name is Mano Ramadwa. We are live from Greater Glory International Ministries, right here in Ruodeport. And I'm still sitting with my guest. And as we wrap up tonight's show, I want to ask my guest a critical question. And this question is what I believe you at home is asking yourself. Could this be, Apostle Joe? Could this be that the church is under some kind of attack?
Well, man of God, the church has always been under attack.
Yeah.
From day one, the church has been under attack. From the time of Christ, he even said it himself that if they hated me as your master, how much more then they will hate you?
Just to get in there, and when he spoke to Saul, then
Yes.
Paul,
yes.
he said, I will show him how much he's going to suffer for my name's sake.
Yes, exactly.
So
Yeah. The book
it-
of Acts
Yeah.
itself, man of God, is a record of the sufferings of the church.
yeah,
Yes.
and we had a situation where the disciples were taken to the Sanhedrin and they were told,
Yeah.
stop this thing
Yeah. Stop talking about this name.
about this name.
Yeah. They said you must never ever talk about this name.
Yeah.
You know? And then Gamaliel stood up and said, hey guys, be
Hey,
careful.
be careful.
Yeah. You might be beating Jesus himself or God himself and you'll be in trouble.
Yeah,
Let these guys go. The Bible says they let them go, but with a warning.
yeah.
Never ever talk about that
Never
name
ever.
again.
And this is the part that I find very interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
When they were told never ever.
Yeah. And they
What-
made a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did the disciples say?
They made
They,
a
s- they
powerful
said a
statement.
very powerful
Yeah.
statement.
Who will we obey?
Yeah.
God
or
or
man.
No? And they said we choose to obey God.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is a statement of defiance.
It's a statement of defiance. A statement that says I choose to obey God rather than man who wants me to disobey God.
Yeah.
You see. So the church has always been under attack. And attacks on the church has come in one way or the other in different forms all over the world.
Yeah.
Because remember that the church is, if I have to say, organization or entity
Yeah.
that is anti-corruption.
And that is why
that preaches good morals and
Yeah.
good living. The church is a conscience. It pricks on the conscience of people. People that are corrupt will hate the church
Yeah.
because the church is against corruption.
Hey.
The church fights against corruption. That is why even when there's a tender, oh yeah, we're not Abraham Muruti. Hey, they say, hey, man, hey, Mfundis.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, say, hey, Mfundis. You know, because they know that you will not buy into the chochos and the kickbacks and so on.
Yeah.
Because you are a pastor. You know.
But
So the church, we can say, it has been under attack. And
continues
the
to be.
attacks, they change. They come in different forms. In other places, it's persecution. China is persecution. Some parts of India, it is. In Nigeria, North Nigeria, it is. And then in other countries, it comes in different ways. Here in South Africa, yes, we may not say we are persecuted like other countries,
Yeah.
but the church clearly is under attack. Yes.
What are some of the subtle symbols or activities that
Yeah.
as laymen
Aside.
Christians
Yeah.
or just a Christian at home who has not really engaged much in this, what are
Look,
some of those things that
The fact that now they are saying, because they know that they can't beat you as a Christian,
Yeah.
they can't do any other thing physical on you, they can't do physical harm on you, but they can impose certain laws or restrictions.
yeah
The CRL wanted to impose restrictions.
yeah
Now the CRL is supposed to protect the rights
yeah
of religious people. But what did the lady who was in charge say? She said, religion in South Africa is a problem, especially Christianity.
in Christianity?
Yeah. She highlighted that, said especially the Christians. Because she will never say that against the Muslims.
Yeah.
She will never say that against the Muslims. They said, we are preaching hate. When someone spoke about gayism and homosexuality, they said that is hate speech.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Man
yet
of God.
it's something that is
Man of God,
enshrined in our
I can challenge you to go to the Quran and read the Quran and see what the Quran says about that thing.
Yeah.
See the kind of language the Quran uses against so-called infidels.
but it's not just the Quran.
Yes.
It's the treatment of people who are practicing such in states that are Islamic.
Yes. Yes.
Because there's no mercy there.
There's no mercy.
And
But they will never come to the Muslims and say to them, the Quran is preaching violence.
yeah.
The Quran says any person who's an infidel, who's against Allah, who preaches against Muhammad,
Yeah.
any one of that person must be killed.
Yeah.
Because by
Bluntly
killing
so.
that person, you are doing Allah a big favor, a big service.
Yeah.
We don't see that as hate speech. We don't see that as preaching violence.
Yeah.
We are quiet. But then a Christian comes and then he says something else. He says, these ones are sweet ponyanas, they are lambs. This one, they will not say anything.
Give a joke. Give a simple
give
joke.
a simple joke. The skeptics at joke. We can say anything. Like we can run on their heads and say anything, and they will not even say whatever. You see? So you can tell the fact that the church, the move to regulate the church, say that you cannot practice unless you have this. I mean, right now in Middleburg, they were tearing down church structures there that are supposed to be illegally built on land that doesn't belong to them. And then the town council gave out an instruction and said, if you want to operate a church in this place, you must have 100,000 rand in your account and at least 300 members.
Now,
Man of God. You are coming to establish a church alone. Where do you get 300 members and 100,000 rand to be recognized?
It's like a even some of these community what do we call them? Community initiatives. They only look for 50 members. And now all of a sudden it's 300 for the church.
300 members. I mean, how crazy can that be? In Middleburg, I'm not telling you about something that's not happening. As we speak now, this is what the local municipality has said there. That is why there was that whole issue of Middleburg. So the church, man of God, is always under attack. We are always under attack. Whether it is institutionalized attack or from individuals, but the church is always under attack. But the interesting thing is this one. Because Jesus knew this. He said, I am building my church and the gates of hell will never prevail against it. The church will always come up triumph. Whoever fights against the church is fighting a losing battle. Because the church always comes out tops. The church always comes out victorious. Go through church history. In every era, every dispensation, the church has always come up tops. There were times in communist China where the Bibles were taken, they were banned, and then Bibles were not allowed. The church was silent. By the time the church was unbanned, said now you can start operating. There were over 500,000 Christians that came out from underground.
To show that.
Where do these guys come from? They've been there. The last time there were about 50,000 when they banned them. When they resurfaced, there were over 500,000.
And this is you can look at it and with examples all over the world.
Yes.
But even in our country, you can see the subtle moves towards this kind of muzzling of Christianity as a religion as such.
Exactly. You see, the problem is these people there in power, who are CRL and so on, cannot differentiate between the church of Jesus Christ and cults. You see, they look at cults and they think it's the church. Regulate the church. But you cannot mix us, the church, with cults.
Because even in all the other, for example, with the traditionalists, there's plenty of them. You just need to go into every other town in Johannesburg, even in the rural towns.
Exactly. So many. I mean, they're saying today that pastors are abusive, they abuse, they rape, and so on. Man of God, how many traditional doctors have done that? How many traditional doctors are raping the initiates? Matwasa. How many of them are sleeping? How many are sleeping with their clients? How many women have gone to a traditional healer and said, I'm sick, I've got this and this, and the traditional healer said, for you to be healed, I must penetrate you so that you can be cured from whatever disease.
And that noise is not there.
They keep quiet, like it has never happened. And then you hear that one cultist preacher has raped a girl. Oh, it's a big issue. They make it so big. But he said, hey, what about that Mabuela who has done the same or even worse? What about those Mabuela that is taking money from people?
I know a number of children, high school children, who have been taken out of school because some of those traditionalists were actually calling for them. No education, nothing.
Yes.
And that child is just going to find themselves stranded out
Yeah.
there.
And then a cult with children there, they would come and say, no, we are closing down this thing. These children must go to school. Why don't they go to that traditional healer, the Gobela, the
Yeah.
Chisangomas, Dumba, and say, all these kids that are 10 years, 5 years, that are twassing here, must go to school.
Yeah.
We release them. Let them go. Why are they afraid to do that? Why?
But you have said a very powerful statement.
Yeah.
And I think that is fit enough for us to close with.
Right.
That Jesus Christ himself said this, that I am building my church.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh,
And
yes,
the
sir.
gates of hell shall not prevail.
Never prevail. And he said, cheer up, guys. In this world, you will find persecution. In this world, you'll be persecuted. But cheer up, because I have overcome this world.
All we need to do, as it is, Apostle Joe, we are closing now, but I do know that once we have brought you here, we can't stop talking about what you do.
Oh,
Because
yes.
There's
Thank
more
you for
that
the
you do.
opportunity. Yeah. Yeah, man of God, besides pastoring a church,
Yeah.
I also do a lot of life coaching.
Yeah.
Do business coaching. People that need coaching, like they wanna become the best, discover who they are,
Yeah.
and excel in their potential. We do coaching. We sit down with it. Can be one-on-one. It can be group coaching, and then I also help aspiring writers.
Yeah.
Through my company, I Will Succeed. Those that want to write books and those that want to, author whatever, we help them, take them through the process. Also, editing itself, we do that. And I've also written a book, and by the grace of God, it has reached a certain number. It's not easy to self-publish, man of God. You and I know that.
Yeah.
We prefer to publish ourselves because it's more convenient.
You have
And
said it the other day, and you
not-
said, I'm not
Yeah.
settling for less.
No. We'll never be slaves of a white man again. Not again. Never. I'll never, and I must repeat this, I will never be a slave to a white man ever again.
Yeah.
We have been enslaved. We have been exploited. It will never happen again. That's why I will self-publish. And even if they close all the doors and all the stores and so on, and thank
Yeah.
God they're folding and closing those stores that they used to shut the doors for us.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And if you self-publish and you hit a certain number, of sales,
Yeah.
you must know that you have achieved. And that is why I will take this opportunity to thank everybody that has bought and read the book, The 12 Success Factors.
Yeah.
It's continuing to change lives. I'm receiving calls, from even celebrities of this country to say, I've read your book. Managers are ordering it in numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about that. So if anyone wants to know more about the book, The 12 Success Factors, they can catch us. They can send us a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
063 449 063 449 0438
Yeah.
0438. That's my WhatsApp number. Or they can send us an email, coaching@iwillsucceed.org, org.za.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that website is?
www.iwillsucceed.org.za.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Apostle Joe.
Thank you, man of God.
This is where we end it for tonight. My name is Mano Ramadwa, and of course, you can follow me on this platform, Mano Resuscitation Coach Ramadwa, or you can go on to my public page, Mano Speaks Resuscitation. Otherwise, Resuscitation Coach, Resuscitation Speaker on Twitter and on Instagram. But you can also find interesting podcasts on our website, www.manoramadwa.com. Just visit the website and definitely enjoy what you see there. Till we meet again next time, this is how we close it. Good night and God bless you.